You may proceed.
raise a manifestation, ma'am, about the SALN, ma'am. First of all, let me state on record that the SALNs discussed were not attached in the original complaints. Hindi po sila kasama sa original complaints. And using the SALNs as a starting point without necessary predicate evidence supports the position that the investigation of the House of Representatives Committee on Justice is a fishing expedition. And if I may add, Madam Chair, on the SALN issue, the complaint asks this committee to obtain bank records, SALNs, coordinate with the AMLC, and forensic accounting. If so, it is an acknowledgement that the complaint is still seeking the very facts it needs to conclusively prove its SALN theory. Ma'am, malaki po kasi yung pinagkaiba ng isang complaint that already alleges ultimate facts supported by evidence, and a complaint that substantially requests this committee to authorize this committee to investigate, and perhaps we will later find the proof. And if I also raise this observation, Madam, regarding the Ombudsman, the independence of the Ombudsman may be put to question before this body. The House of Representatives Committee on Justice summons the Ombudsman before the members of Congress and the public to present the statement of assets, liabilities, and net worth of the Vice President. While the Ombudsman has an ongoing investigation before its office, the Ombudsman is mandated to have the primary duty to conduct investigations over the misconduct of public officers.
Madam Chair, point of order.
There's a point of order, Honorable Marcoleta.
Just would like to
Honorable
clarify.
Bishop Abante.
I would like to clarify to ask Congressman Marcoleta. Sinabi niya kanina hindi kasama yung SALN sa original complaint.
Yes, he mentioned that.
Oh, I'd like to clarify. Paano niya nasabi yun? Kasama eh. Ito, babasahin ko. Vice President Sara Duterte committed culpable violation of the Constitution and betrayed the public trust in amassing unexplained wealth and failing to disclose all her properties and interests in properties in her SALN. Nagalagay po sa complaint eh. Anong sinasabi niya na hindi kasama sa original complaint? I'd like to find out from him.
Honorable
Ang hirap
Marcoleta.
noon, Chair, salita siya ng salita dito. Kinakailangan maging sure tayo na hindi nabanggit.
And if I may add, for the guidance of the honorable members and in response to the manifestation of the Honorable Marcoleta, I will be reading the specific paragraph where matters concerning SALN was mentioned in the complaint. With regards to Sabale complaint, there are allegations in paragraph 107, 108, 109, and paragraphs 285 to 290. And for Cabrera complaint, may we refer the Honorable Marcoleta as well to paragraph 20.3, paragraph 76, paragraph 77, paragraph 232, paragraph 233, 234, 235, 236, 237, 238, 239, 240, 241, 242, and even from paragraphs 244 to 246. For the information of the Honorable Marcoleta,
Yes,
the
ma'am.
mentioned
Binanggit po ang-
paragraphs contained allegations which are relevant to the SALNs of the respondent.
Yes, ma'am, it was mentioned, I think, very adequately, the word SALNs, but they were never attached to the original complaints. Parang this complaint is just merely requesting the committee to produce evidence. Ibig sabihin, wala pang ebidensya, nakikiusap sa committee na ito para mag-produce ng ebidensya na wala, hindi nakakabit sa original complaints. Yun lang po ang sinasabi ko, ma'am.
In other words, you admit that there were a lot of times that SALNs were mentioned in the impeachment complaint. However,
They were never
not
attached.
attached in the
Opo.
impeachment
Wala pa
complaint.
pong ebidensyang nakalakip doon po sa complaint. At ngayon pa lang po natin binubuksan dahil ito po ay kumbaga request ng complainant.
please understand as well that the compulsory process that was granted to the Justice Committee is for the purpose of testing the sufficiency of the allegations in the complaint, whether the same constitute probable cause, which is
Yeah.
the mandate of this proceeding.
Correct.
So, with all due respect, Honorable Marcoleta, it is our humble position that all the actions of this committee, including the issuance of subpoena of all these questioned salens by Your Honor, is in accordance with the rules of impeachment, the Constitution, and even with the decisions of the Honorable Supreme Court.
Ma'am, the court will be the better judge of that.
And that is why you should elevate that before the Honorable Court.
Maybe not me, but some other parties. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other member who wish to raise clarificatory questions to the Ombudsman? Hearing none, may we direct the committee secretary to call the Vice President
Madam
in
Chair,
order
just,
to extend to her
Madam Chair,
the opportunity to present evidence, including those which will counter the testimony provided already and the documents provided already by the Office of the Ombudsman.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Garbin is recognized.
Thank you, Madam. Just a few questions to the representatives of the Ombudsman. Kayo ho'y nagpresenta ng SALN, and what was presented by your office are those SALNs under your custody and the entries, the official entries in those SALN. Tama po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
But that entries does not say whether there is a misdeclaration, untruthful declaration, or willful non-disclosure that will lead to unexplained wealth. Tama po ba?
Your Honor, binasa ko lang po kung ano yung, at kinonfirm ko lang po kung ano yung nakalagay sa SALN.
Honorable Garbin, I'm afraid, but we are not allowed to raise questions which will go beyond what appears in the SALN. Concerned
That's
SALN
why,
of the Vice
Madam Chair, I
President.
just need confirmation whether that
Yes.
presentation
Issues concerning misdeclaration.
yields in support to the complainants. First of all, Madam Chair, wala yung complainant dito eh.
I understand, but please limit your questions to
And that's why I
the
want to ask
contents of the
sana yung
affidavit.
complainant
Contents of the
as
SALN.
to his allegation, because it was pointed out that the SALN was only part of a broader allegations of unexplained wealth. But as correctly pointed out by Mr. Marcoleta, or Congressman Marcoleta, those SALN that was, or that we want to specifically pinpoint that have material misdeclaration or untruthful declaration was never attached in the first place
We are
in the
not
complaint.
yet on that, Honorable Garbin.
We
are
were
only
through,
on the
we were
existence of the
through,
SALNs.
we were already through on that. We already approved, voted on the ultimate facts and the sufficiency in substance. And the annexes provided in the complaint, Madam Chair. So what we have here is an improvement of the complaint, of the complainant's evidence. Tayo yung nagpuproduce ng ebidensya eh, which is not supposed to be the case.
With all due respect, Honorable Garbin, the issuance of the subpoena is not for the purpose of adding, supplementing, or correcting whatever appears in the complaint. The purpose of the issuance of subpoena is to test whether the complaint is sufficient already for the existence of probable cause. To
But-
aid the justice members in judging whether or not probable cause exists on the basis of the allegations in the complaint, including the attached documents.
If I may, Madam Chair.
The Honorable Chua.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, let me walk you through Section 7 of our Rules of Procedure in Impeachment Proceedings. Sabi po dito, the committee shall conduct a hearing. The committee, through the chairperson, may limit the period of examination by members of the committee. The committee shall have the power to issue compulsory processes for the attendance of witnesses and the production of documents and other related evidence. So, yun po yung ginagawa po natin dito. This SALN, ito pong SALN na to ay pumapasok po dito po sa power ng committee. Hindi naman po tayo ang nagsasabi niyan. Ang nagsasabi po niyan ay ang ating rules. Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Before we proceed,
Madam
I just
Chair.
want to state for the record, Honorable De Lima, that the committee is already in receipt of the notices of disallowance referred to by Attorney Camora of ICFAO COA during the April 14 hearing. This pertains to the disallowances of the first 3 quarters of the OVP Confidential Fund of 2023, the first, the second, and the third. The total amount of these notices of disallowances is 375,000 million. 375 million pesos. So the COMSEC is directed to provide copy of this notices of disallowance to the Vice President, the complainant, and all the members of the Justice Committee. The same is true with respect to the decision referred to as well by Attorney Camora of ICFAO COA. This is to prove that the appeal pertaining to the last quarter of 2022 confidential fund of OVP has been denied, which means that the notice of disallowance for the last quarter of 2022 was affirmed by the Commission on Audit. Likewise, the committee secretariat is directed to provide copy of the same to the Vice President, the complainants, and all the justice members. Honorable De Lima is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just wish to put forth additional counter-arguments on the points raised by the Honorable Marcoleta and also certain points raised by the Honorable Garbin. Okay, first, we have determined already sufficiency in substance of the complaints. Sufficiency in substance, both in form and substance, and that includes the annexes. Pangalawa po, hindi po required na lahat ng mga pwedeng ebidensya ay dapat na produce na ng complainants at the time of the filing of the complaint. And that's why we have these processes of subpoena para makalakap ng mga ebidensya na nakasabi sa complaint tsaka yung mga related evidence. Ang importante po dito, especially in the issuance of subpoena, yung requirements of specificity or sufficiently described yung mga dokumento na pinapaproduce at yung relevance to the issue. Wala pong duda dun sa mga subpoena po natin ng production for the production of specific documents like respondent SALNs, the AMLAC records of the flagged bank transactions of the respondent, the records of her corporate holdings, records of her financial transactions. These are all relevant to the grounds alleged in the complaint. They directly relate to the issues actually and specifically raised in the 3rd and 4th impeachment complaints, the Sabalia et al. And Cabrera complaints, particularly that respondent purportedly engaged in culpable violation of the Constitution, graft and corruption, bribery, including the accumulation of unexplained and or ill-gotten wealth and her ownership of secret bank accounts worth millions, if not billions of pesos, all of which she did not declare in her SALNs. Doon sa punto na ini-improve daw po natin. Actually, there's nothing wrong about that, improving the evidence that are sought to be presented by the complainants, kasi tayo nga po ang magiging prosecutors later, and we are determining at this point the existence of probable cause, and therefore we need the guidance of any other relevant evidence para makarating po sa determinasyon na yan ng existence of probable cause. We develop, we improve, we ask for other additional evidence as long as they are relevant to the issue or issues as alleged in the complaints. So wala pong mga linalabag dito na mga principles pagdating po sa tungkol doon sa kailangan ba na linalagay lahat o pinipresenta na lahat sa complaint pa lang. So malinaw po yan, Madam Chair, hindi po kailangan. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Chel Jokno is recognized.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Wala naman pong pinagkaiba ang ginagawa ng Committee on Justice dun sa ginagawa ng isang prosecutor na nagko-conduct ng preliminary investigation. Just like a prosecutor under the rules of the House, we have the power to issue subpoena to determine what used to be called probable cause, although what is now called certainty of conviction. And para sa akin, mas mahalaga pa nga yung tungkulin natin na yon, Dahil wala pa naman po tayo sa adversarial stage. We are very clearly in the inquisitorial stage where we are meant to inquire whether there is sufficient probable cause. Kaya po tayo binigyan ng ngipin ng House Rules para makapagsabpina ay para nga makita ang ebidensya. And I'm very disappointed at any attempts to remove that power from us, because that is precisely why the Constitution requires that we conduct a hearing. Yung hearing naman natin, hindi para marinig natin yung salita ng iba't ibang mga nandito ngayon, kung hindi makita mismo yung ebidensya. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Chairman,
Madam
Madam
Chair.
Chair. My
The
last
Honorable
manifestation.
Garbin.
Madam Chair.
At the outset, Madam Chair, let me state that I am for the truth and for knowing whether there's material or misdeclaration on the SALN. What I'm saying here, the observance of procedural due process. Going back to the complaint, as stated, this specific SALN were not attached. And when you say observance of procedural due process, ang tinatawag po doon, paano makakapagsagot yung isang respondent kung wala naman specific allegations doon sa mga iprinisintang SALN? We agree that we have compulsory processes to produce those documents relevant to this hearing. But the absence of giving opportunity to the respondent the right to be heard or to answer, and those specific allegations, it's not even a specific allegation because it was part of a broader allegations of unexplained wealth. Ako po ay isang abogado bago mambabatas. Ako po ay dumaan din sa napakaraming preliminary investigation. And kung magpipresenta tayo dito ng dokumento na hindi natin bibigyan ng oportunidad yung inaakusahan dito, then where is the procedural due process? That's why I'm saying, are we
Honorable
proving
Garbin.
the complaint? Or
Honorable
it is
Garbin.
better left to the impeachment court to present all these documents so that the respondent will also have the right to confront those evidence presented against her
Notice is being given to her.
and the right also to examine those specific SALN that allege misdeclarations of unexplained wealth.
Honorable Garbin, I just want to state for the record that since the start of the presentation of witnesses and evidence, we've been sending notices to the Vice President, to the respondent, and as a matter of fact, even after every resource person, we are calling the Vice President to check if she is present so we can cater the opportunity to be heard that you are mentioning. Honorable Garbin, in as far as due process is concerned, I honestly believe that this committee has been amply complying in providing the same to the respondent Vice President. And let us all be reminded that this issue raised by the Honorable Garbin is already pending before the Supreme Court. So with the indulgence of the justice members, perhaps we should leave this to the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court. With that, can we proceed to the presentation of our resource persons?
Madam Chair,
The Honorable Tino.
may I ask some clarificatory questions regarding, from the Ombudsman?
The Ombudsman.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Could we have the summary table of the SALN of the VP?
Can we
on
flash again the
screen?
matrix? You need the matrix?
Opo, opo.
Kindly flash the matrix, Secretariat.
Alright, thank you po. Just to confirm lang po sa Ombudsman, napansin ko lang po kasi na yung declaration or statement of assets, both real assets and personal assets for the years 2019 and 2020 are exactly the same. Tama po ba yan? Hindi naman kaya baka nagkamali lang nung cut and paste. Is that correct?
2019 and 2020.
Yes, is that correct? 2019, the real assets are 300 39,798,891, and that is the exact same figure for 2020. Tama po ba? And then for personal assets, the figure is 19,274,950 for both 2019 and 2020. Tama po yun?
Your Honor, based on the 2019 and 2020 SALNs submitted by the Vice President to the Office of the Ombudsman, we can confirm that
Exactly the
the
same.
real assets and personal assets were the same for those 2 years.
Okay. And for the years 2021 to 2022, the personal assets are exactly the same. Tama po ba? 23
Please show the matrix.
849,950 personal assets. Tama po na pareho. Eksakto.
That is 2021 and 2022 personal assets.
Your Honor, reading from the 2021 and 2022 submitted SALNs of the Vice Presidents, we can confirm that for the personal properties declared therein, it's the same amount po.
Okay. Thank you. So, again, and of course, yung sa real assets in the years 2009 to 2011, pareho, no? And also for 2016 and to
2009 to 2011 real assets. Closer to the microphone, Kong Tinio.
Oo. Well, siguro, Madam Chair, thank you for the confirmation. So I just wanted to check whether tama yung matrix, no? So
Can we mark also 2009 to 2011 real assets? 10 million. Exactly the same as well. May we see confirmation from the OMB?
Give us a few seconds, Your Honor. Give us a few seconds, Your Honor.
Yes, please. 09, 10, and 11.
Your Honor, based on the 2009, 2010, and 2011 submitted SALNs of the Vice President, we can confirm that the declaration therein was stated as 10,802,668.65 for the 3 years.
That's
Okay.
the same, exactly the
Thank
same
you.
amount.
Yes, Your Honor.
Please flash the matrix, please. That's the 2009, 10, and 11 real assets. 10,802,668 pesos and 65 centavos, exactly the same amount for 09, 10, and 11. Honorable Tino.
And for the sake of completeness, 2016, 2017 real assets, same.
2016 and 2017,
Opo.
real assets. Matrix. So for the record, 2016 and 2017, based on the matrix, the amount is exactly the same. That's 30,548,891 pesos. May we request confirmation from the OMB?
Your Honor, basing from the 2016 and 2017 SALN of the Vice President, the real properties declared therein is at 30,548,891 for the 2016 and 2017
So
year.
you confirm.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Uh,
Honorable
th- th-
Tino?
Thank you for that. just a few observations, Madam Chair.
Yes, you may proceed.
Opo. So I suppose for the real assets that can be explained, no, kasi mga lote ito. So perhaps from year to year hindi magbabago. As to the personal assets, I don't have a copy of all of the SALNs. Could the ombudsman maybe just name the how the breakdown of the personal assets in particular that were declared by the Vice President? Kasi mas medyo gusto ko lang unawain bakit hindi nagbabago from year to year yung declaration of personal assets.
Your Honor, may I clarify kung anong year po ng SALN?
Okay. So for example, yung 2019 to 2020 and 2021 to 2022, pareho po kasi yung figures for personal assets for 2 years. So I'm just trying to further understand bakit hindi nagbago yon.
I don't think, Honorable Tino, that Attorney Bato is competent to answer your question.
No, as far as I know, there would be a breakdown of personal assets in the SALN, the entries.
Is there a breakdown? You can confine your answer to what appears in the SALN.
Your Honor, based on the SALN submitted by the Vice President, the personal properties were described therein. May description po.
So can you confirm if the personal properties enumerated in the two concerned calendar years are exactly the same? That's 20 and 21.
Yes. 19, 20, and 21, and 22.
Just to confirm, Your Honor, so we're speaking of the SALNs from 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022.
Yes.
Kindly flash the matrix. The question of Honorable Tino is whether there are changes in the properties, personal assets of the respondent which generated the total exact amount for 2019 and 20, and then for 2021 and 2022. Maybe 2019 and 20 first.
For the 2019 and 2020, Your Honor, based on the SALN submitted, we can confirm that the Vice President declared the same personal
Exactly the
properties.
same personal assets. How about
Could
21 and 22?
Could we ask what assets were declared?
If I'm allowed to read the personal properties.
Yes, you may proceed.
Of the Vice President declared in her 2019 and 2020 SALNs, these are the following: a vehicle van, vehicle declared as motorcycles, other personal properties, various items, other personal properties, various items, vehicle car, vehicle pickup, other personal properties.
Okay, and that's the same for both years.
Yes, Your Honor, we can confirm that it's the same for
Okay.
2019 and 2020.
Okay, so general po, mga various items, parang ganon. Okay,
Those were the items listed po dun sa
Okay.
kanyang SALN.
okay, thank you. Thank you, that will be all, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Perhaps we can proceed to directing the COMSEC to call the Vice President. COMSEC, please.
May we know if the Vice President is present today? The respondent Vice President is not present today, Madam Chair.
Let it be placed on the record that the committee secretary called the Vice President in order that we will be providing her the opportunity to present her evidence or to raise clarificatory questions through the justice members. That is for the record. Now we proceed to our next resource person. We are requesting the representatives from the Ombudsman to stay because we anticipate that there are matters which might be raised as well with the Ombudsman. Our next resource person is the Anti-Money Laundering Council. The floor is now open for clarificatory questions of the justice members.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Sendanya is recognized.
Madam Chair, may I make a short manifestation?
Yes,
before
of
the
course.
start
You may
question
proceed.
hour? Thank you, Madam Chair. As the movement for the subpoena, both ad testificandum to the AMLAC, meron lang po akong isang maikling remarks. Higit isang dekada na pong naghihintay ang taong bayan na makita ang kabuang yaman ni VP Sara Duterte at ng kanyang pamilya. Kaya nga po noong nakaraang pulong tayo ay nag-move para maimbitahan ang AMLAC sa atin pong pulong ngayong araw na ito. Sa totoo lang, this should have never been kept a secret. A public servant's obligation sa konstitusyon at sa taong bayan ay maging bukas sa ating financial transactions and lifestyle. Kahapon po, personal ako na nag-deposit sa isa sa mga alleged bank accounts na nakapangalan kina VP Sara Duterte at ang kanyang ama na si former President Rodrigo Duterte. Taliwas po sa kanilang patuloy na pagtanggi, lumabas na active pa ang account. Nakapag-deposit po tayo ng 448 pesos doon sa isang account na ito. Ngayong impeachment, mas dumadami ang tanong na after we heard our resource persons, especially our resource person from the Ombudsman, very glaring po yung ilang taon na walang nakalagay na cash on hand at cash in bank ang Vice-Presidente. Kung walang sikreto si VP Sara, sana nag-sign na siya dati pa ng waiver. Kung wala siyang kinakatakutan, edi sana nilapag na niya ang totoong laman ng bank account niya. Kung totoong kumakain lang sa karinderya ang tatay niya at government salary lang ang natatanggap nila, iniisip ko nga po, paano na i-encash yung cheque, yung sweldo niya, saan dumadaan? Kung wala siyang cash in bank at saka po wala siyang cash on hand. Pero that's for another conversation. Kung wala po silang tinatago, di sana wala silang kaba na haharap sa committee ito. Hindi tayo parang tumatawag ng spirit of the glass every time isa-summon ang Vice President to refute the evidence. Sa pagpresenta po ng report ng AMLC, ang tanong po ng taong bayan, sana masagot na ang maraming matagal ng mga pressing questions.